Hi, welcome to Sacred Spaces. I'm Laura Kelly and today we're here with Robin Grow, President of the Art Deco and Modernism Society. Robin, welcome to the show.
Hi Laura.
Now we're standing here in this amazing ballroom. Tell us where we are and why this is your sacred space.
We're in what's now known as the Ivanhoe Centre. When it was built in 1937 it was the Heidelberg Town Hall, and it represented a new movement in design of buildings. It's my sacred space because I do a lot of tours here and I just love the building, and it represents symbolism for me on a number of levels. One is about the architecture of the place, another one is about the social history of the place and how important it was to the local community, and still is to the local community. As well as that, it's been amazingly well preserved over the years. So as a sacred space and a place that I can demonstrate to people the value of preserving interwar buildings, this building is top of my list in Melbourne.
Now, Art Deco and modernism, that's obviously your passion.
Mm-hmm.
What do you look for in a building, any building, that attracts you to it?
There's a whole range of architectural features, if you like. Mainly it's about the fabrics that we use, the design and the style, and the lack of ornamentation on buildings, which is a highlight of buildings from the Art Deco era. And so simple concrete rendered buildings or brick buildings with curves, large panes of glass with the curved glass in the windows, very, very symbolic of the Art Deco era.
So Robin, can you describe some of your favourite features of this building for us?
On the interior, the features that I really enjoy are the fact that they've used a white metal, which was becoming popular as an interior design feature in the 30s. So we see chrome and stainless steel. We also see a huge expanse in here with no columns to interfere with what was going on, and that was part of the architectural innovation of the time. And there's things like clocks around the building, and they were in a new design, so they did away with the old curly numbers and just put in simple, elegant digits in here. The other thing I really love about this building, about this space, is the floor, the parquetry flooring in a herringbone pattern, and in the middle of the floor it has a huge cubist design, because there were lots of complementary schools contributing to each other's designs, and Cubism and Art Deco were two of the complementary ones. So as far as this space, it has a number of wonderful features, but you've got to look at it as an integrated whole. And the other thing I really like is the lighting, the banks, huge banks of lighting up above, which provided diffused lighting to the people who came along to functions here. And that was an innovation of the Art Deco era as well, the ability to block off harsh light on people who dressed up to go out.
Now, you talked about the integrated whole of the building, so let's go and have a look. There's another room downstairs, the streeting room, which I'd love to have a look at.
Okay.
And also the foyer is pretty impressive here as well, isn't it?
That's right. The streeting room is very important because of the name of the room. Because the place was Heidelberg, it had an affinity with the Heidelberg School of Artists. So we have a streeting room downstairs, we have a Tom Roberts room upstairs. So it always maintains that link with the community and with what the community was well known for, which was the Heidelberg School of Art.
Well, let's go and have a look at the rest of the building.
Okay.
So Robin, we're downstairs now in the streeting room, is that right?
That's right. Another beautiful aspect of this building, it provided a room that they called the Supper Club originally. But one of the things I love about it is the use of the wood on the stage. It was Australian hardwood, which was highly prized around the world. But it all contributes to a building that is certainly Australia's most prominent and best maintained civic building in this style, and in fact it's of international quality. And And I think one of the great things about all of the building is that they demonstrate how effective it is to maintain and reuse buildings from the Art Deco era. So it really is of world class.
Is this a building that is well known internationally?
I don't know about internationally. It's certainly well known Australia-wide, and we've tried our best to publicise it internationally. And certainly we've had preservation architects from around the world come here and just admire what's been done. And of course, one of the things that has helped with that is that the building was being fully used all along. So it was never a period where it fell into disrepair or decay like a lot of town halls do and had to be revived. It's paid its way all along, and it's been beautifully maintained, and it's now subject to a conservation management plan. So we've got architects who are now maintaining and watching over what happens to the building.
Now, taking us back to some of the concepts behind Art Deco, if I was to walk down the street or be inside a building, are there a couple of things I could look for to know what Art Deco looks like?
You'd look for certain materials. You'd look for things like glass blocks. You'd look for portholes in the wall, because the nautical theme was very, very prominent. And you'd look for groups of three. The rule of three was very important in Art Deco design. It represented symmetry, and so we see groups of three in all sorts of places. And in this building, we see them in a number of spots, including on the door handles. So things are grouped in three, and it's almost a quirky little feature of the style, but is very prominent.
And how about exterior? Say the exterior of this building. How do we look at a building like this and say, that's definitely Art Deco? Okay,
you'd look at it and you'd see that it was very, very plain outside, and almost to the point of austerity. And that's something that a lot of the locals didn't necessarily like when it was built. But it also helps to keep the maintenance costs down, of course, if you don't have to look after a whole lot of fussy little features on the building. And you'd look for neon signs or neon signage, and here we see at the top of the building, top of the tower, we see neon clocks, and there's four there, visible all around from all around the surrounding districts. So neon signage is another indicator. And you'd look for vertical fins. A lot of the buildings in this style had fins that wrapped around on the roof and then descended down to the street. So that verticality expressed in that way is a very, very important part of the design of the era.
Well, thank you so much for talking us through this building. It's been fantastic, and I feel like it's actually opened up potentially a new way to look at our city, because we're so lucky in Melbourne to have all of these Art Deco and modernist buildings. So thank you very much, Robin Grow.
Thank you, Laura. It's been a pleasure.